Hello and welcome to today's Partner Infopedia web conference. This is Project LeadGen, a new way to drive leads and build your profile in the community. Presenting with us from Microsoft today, we have Sherman Crancer, who's a Senior Channel Development Manager. Sherman, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone who's on the call today. We're really excited to be here. My name, as mentioned earlier, is Sherman Crancer, and I'm the Senior Business Channel Development Manager for the Western United States. My contact information is on this initial slide and will be presented again at the end. What we're going to be talking about today really is a program that we designed called Project LeadGen. And today, we're going to talk about a program that I really think is going to change your life if you really embrace it and get into it and really change the financial implications of your business in the next 12 to 24 months. And we actually have some testimonials and some presenters today that are going to talk to you from the partner perspective. If you have any questions directly about the program, you can go ahead and contact me at scrancer@microsoft.com. So, part of the agenda today is we're going to talk a little bit about what is Microsoft Community Connections, and that's really the program that this is leading into. We're going to talk about a success story so that we can actually frame the program for you and see why it actually would work for you. We're going to talk specifically about what is Project LeadGen and what are the steps to actually complete it, kind of get through it. We'll follow that by looking into seminar selling, and supercharging your lead generation. We're going to talk about how to sell to many as opposed to selling one-on-one and kind of getting rid of those, traditional selling techniques. Then we'll follow up with that with the Project LeadGen Planner, how to join Project LeadGen, and then a survey at the very end to get your thoughts on the program, get your thoughts on the presentation, as well as a chance to win some significant money by doing so. So with that, why don't we go ahead and kind of get into the very first thing. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually present my desktop here. And I'm going to actually play a video that's going to have a good representation of really what MCC really is. And I think it's really important for everyone to understand it. So we'll go ahead and get this started right now. Go ahead and press play.
Technology is opening new ways for small businesses to accelerate growth and reach new customers. As a result, customers are increasing their investments in Microsoft solutions and using trusted partners and business influencer organizations to help them successfully navigate through the options and implement the technology. Partners and influencers targeting small and medium businesses have a huge opportunity to guide these customers. However, both face challenges. Partners have limited resources, and influencers need assistance educating customers about technology. Microsoft Community Connections can help. MCC joins partners and influencers to create momentum and work toward mutual goals of reaching new customers and helping them realize the value of technology. In addition, MCC simplifies marketing efforts and provides vital resources needed to deliver valuable education to customers through events, webinars, newsletter content, blogs, and more. Partners and influencers who actively engage with MCC gain a platform to craft their thought leadership and establish themselves as the trusted resource of their local marketplace. MCC is shaping the way small and medium businesses learn how to utilize technology to drive success. Learn how MCC can strengthen your network today. Visit mscommunityconnections.com.
All right. Well, one of the great things that we actually have with Microsoft Community Connections is understanding the power of associations. And I think one of the things that you're going to find is if people on this call are currently thinking about.
Welcome to today's web conference, Advanced Support for Partners Customer Lockbox. I'd like to turn it over to your first presenter, Michael Pensaroli, National PTS for Microsoft. Michael, you have the floor.
Well, thank you, Tim, and good morning, everybody, and good afternoon, depending on where you are in the U.S. And welcome to today's May call.
My apologies there. We had a little technical difficulty. All right, so back to the program here. What Microsoft Community Connections really is Microsoft's intention to win the hearts and minds of the business associations. And with that, we're reaching out to business associations, such as chambers of commerce, business councils, and basically associations of, really anything out there, to provide educational benefits. And so we're winning the hearts and minds by, reaching out to them and then providing these educational benefits on from the partner's perspective. We produce the content and the partner actually delivers a lot of this education. So that's really what the program is. And if anyone on the call today has thought about, hey, I want to get leads, right? And I want to go out there and I want to network with this Chamber of Commerce from the local area. And I think that's a good way of getting leads. You're thinking the correct way. However, the way that we see a lot of, networking interactions is that, when you're going to chambers of commerce, they're micro businesses. And also the events that you're probably attending, the mixers are, full of a lot of different types of real micro businesses, whether it's the essential oil salesperson, the real estate person, the super small, law firm or, lawyer by himself. And while they all have good intentions, what we found is that most of them have their hand out, and it is really kind of difficult, as to, networking within that. So we developed this program called Project LeadGen, and we'll get into that in just a second. So with that, what I want to do is I want to kind of just frame the story behind it so that you kind of have a good understanding of, how this really worked and how it worked from a partner's point of view. So, about a year and a half ago, I joined Microsoft, but before that, I was a partner just like you. And my story really, about 4 years ago, I was in telecommunications for 15 years, right? Just selling phone service and internet services, fiber. And I decided that I wanted to go on my own instead of working for all the big Fortune 500s. I was a VP of sales for a few different national Fortune 500 companies. And I figured I wanted to do it for myself. So what I did is very interesting. I started my own telecom, sourcing business, right? And I did really, really well with that for the first year and a half. And then I added a second line of business, which was doing fiber to hotels and fiber to big business parks and reselling it, because I knew margins, right? I knew how to do things, and I knew that I could, be the contractor per se and get out, get these contracts out to, different people I work with. But then, after about 2 years into that, I was going to a lot of these IAMCP meetings, which if you haven't joined or know about, you should go to, and that's the Microsoft Channel Partner Network. And I started learning about IT. I started learning about Microsoft, and I started learning about all the different, margins that you can make. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe, that you can make 30, 40, 50% margins on doing bundling, bundling packages. And I was actually probably the third CSP partner for Ingram Micro overall, which is very interesting because I had no idea I was signing up for CSP at the time, but I knew I needed to start bundling things, right? But one of the funny thing is that I decided to open up a third line of business that was part of, IP Bidders, which was the organization that I ran. But I knew nothing about IT. I had no idea how to configure, but what I did know is I knew that I could sell to customers an idea. I could sell them a way to work faster, smarter, more efficient, right? And then what I could do is then utilize my partnerships within IMCP to contract with a lot of my other partners, and I could make some really significant dollars. But so when I did that, I talked to Justin Slagle, who you may have heard of. and he was the MCC contact for Microsoft in the Western region. And I learned about MCC, and I couldn't believe it. But one of my biggest problems was, considering I didn't know very much about IT, I certainly wasn't going to go back to my profitable embedded base of clients. I wanted to go to brand new clients just in case I had some breakage, I couldn't do something correctly and whatnot. So one of my main things was, how should I grow quickly? How do I get leads in an environment where we have a lot of competition, but I need to separate myself quickly from them and bring in a different story per se, right? Be different than they were, than just I call them the drones, right? The ones that are out there that are, constantly knocking on doors or hoping somebody's going to give them a deal, and, project-based work that they're praying, they're every night there's prayers in the bed saying, please, give me another lead sometime. I needed to change. I needed to figure it out. So, MCC as it was, when I was talking to Justin, was, how we had the program set up for many years, was, hey, Mr. Partner, go talk to an association or a chamber of commerce and tell them that you want to do a presentation for their members. Here's some software. Go ahead and raffle off, and good luck. Okay. And we have a lot of people who signed up initially and thought, man, this is fantastic. However, the problem with that is and the main problem with seminar selling and webinar selling and selling to many is the demand generation piece, right? So, MCC as it was great in one way, in one respect, but daunting in another. And I can tell you, I did a few events, and my first 3 events I did after I registered, got the free software. I mean, I sent out 15,000 emails, demand generation emails to one of my seminars, right? And I held it at the MTC in Irvine, the Microsoft Technology Center, and I got 3 people to show up. That was it, just 3. And I mean, my gosh, I had all this big food spread, and I spent a bunch of money, but I didn't know. I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so the reality was, I decided, hey, I need to work on a little bit different way of doing it. So I approached it very differently, and I decided that I was going to use MCC as my absolute number one and my only marketing strategy moving forward. And the reason is because I realized that Microsoft was going to allow me to call on behalf, of Microsoft. So I, basically would call associations and chambers and saying, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Microsoft regarding their Microsoft Community Connections initiative, and we want to, provide some educational resources for your members, because I knew that I had to change the way that I was going to go ahead and pitch this idea. So the original way it was, hey, I do all the demand generation. How I decided to switch it up and totally, completely flip it up is I went to these business councils and associations, and I said, something, I'm calling on behalf of Microsoft. They want to provide an educational sponsorship to your membership, and the value of the sponsorship is $15,000. And right away, all of a sudden, the president and CEO wanted to talk to me every time, 9 out of 10 times. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. And I said, great. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to provide you 3 things. We're going to provide you tech tips in the very beginning. So every month, I'm going to send you tech tips, and just go ahead and create a little corner on your web page, which was the association or chamber's web page. Put my picture up there, and I'm going to go ahead and put a tech tip every month. Non-commercialized. We're not selling anything. We're just here to help. Number 2, we're going to put together a series of seminars. Now, I did seminars in the beginning, and I'll tell you why I changed it up later. I'm going to put together a series of seminars for you, 12 seminars once a month. And they're going to be technology in general, and they're going to be agnostic. And we're going to talk about what is the cloud, how does it help your business, search engine optimization, how to get people to your website and buy. And I would tell Mr. Business Council or Association or Mrs. Our content, is here to help your members have a safe place to learn about technology and not feel like they're being sold to. Because we're not going to come in and do an hour of selling this product. And then the council or the chamber would say, oh, wow, that's great. And I said, third benefit is we're going to provide software as a raffle for every single event. the council's like, oh my gosh, that's great. And I say, yeah, the value of the program, since we're producing all of the content, we're doing everything. All you have to do is bring members to my meetings. The value of the production is about $15,000, but we'll provide it gratis as long as you drive attendance to our seminars and webinars. Okay, so now picture this. The way it was, NCC was, hey, register an event, go to a chamber, tell them that you're going to do an event, and raffle off some software and good luck. To now, instead of doing that, you're actually putting the onus of driving all the attendees on the association. Okay, and so that's the way I decided to change up my script completely, and then provide what's called, I wanted to become what's called the subject matter expert. Now, I didn't know anything about IT, but I did know enough that I could grab a lot of, high-level marketing concepts or high-level technology concepts and actually be able to put together 12 different PowerPoints. And I did. I went to Ready to Go, and I actually created 12 different PowerPoints. But the main thing that really provides the biggest bonus and the biggest value is one other thing that most people forget or don't know, the specific metric that is really important. And that is if you do a webinar or a seminar in January, right, and you do that, and there's 100 people that come to it, okay, the metrics, and these are proven metrics, 3% of those people will buy today with a call to action because they have a problem. They have an issue. They need help. They don't have an IT person yet. Man, they'll buy from you today. Okay, great. Now from 4 to 20%, those people like you would like to buy, are unhappy with their current situation, however, don't know who you are yet. And lastly, 20 from 100 who are attending are there for information, and they're in a contract. They're happy with what's going on, right? Okay, so that metric is for January. However, that metric changes every single month: February, March, April, May, June, July. I would imagine also on top of understanding that metric, how it changes. So some of the people in January, in the 20 to 100 are now out of contract in March, right? And they're really ready, willing, able to buy, or something happens, or they have a project need, right? So understanding that metric and understanding the 12 months will enable you to understand why I did a 12-month program. And my main reason, okay, was to stay in front of those business members of those associations or chambers every single month, so that when they did have a problem or they did have an issue, they would remember who I was, because I was a subject matter expert in all of these different topics, which are really high level, and they would call me. And that's where everything completely changed. From doing single events with really, no reason for them to call me when they would forget who you are, to doing a series of events. And then taking that and making the association responsible for driving was unbelievable. So I went from one event or 3 events, okay, in 1 year. I went to one chamber, then 2 chambers, and I got them to sign up. I got another sign up. I ended up signing up 36 chambers and associations and business councils. And I went from 1 to 300 events in 1 year. Okay, I'm not suggesting anyone here would be as nuts as that. And I was driving myself all over, the place every single day. I was doing an event every day. But the main thing that I was thinking about to myself was, instead of actually knocking on doors, right, and doing one-on-one or spending a ton of money on Google Ads or spending a ton of money on marketing, what I wanted to do is actually sell to many instead of selling to one. So the way I viewed it was, if I have 1 seminar per day, I'm sitting in front of 20 people, I'm getting 20 leads. And I'm taking those leads and I'm selling to that 3% of the attendance that day, and then I'm taking those leads and I'm putting it into a drip marketing system that I created, right? So that I wouldn't miss anything for these attendees. So that's why I went up to 300 events. In 1 year, I was able to book $132,000 in project revenue and $7,200 in monthly recurring revenue. I sold Office 365, help desk services, and a security scan. And that's what I was really good at, and that's what I sold. I didn't deviate. I just sold one thing, and I was really good at it, and I knew what was going on. I'll tell you, it wasn't a quick entry into the revenue. At about 5 to 6 months, all of a sudden my phone started to ring because I was getting in front of so many people. I also brought in 3,200 net new leads in 1 year. And it blossomed so much, I ended up becoming the #1 partner in the country for Microsoft Community Connections Initiative. And I was #1 partner by 20x. Okay. So with that, that's the success story behind it. And I utilized my sales techniques to figure out, okay, how do I maximize my effort, but also how do I maximize the branding that Microsoft is going to allow you to use, right? Make myself look bigger. But I'll tell you, one of my other frustrations was I didn't quite understand, how to get through the gatekeeper without doing, without going, without using Microsoft. Because when I called as IP bidders, they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't care who I was. But when I called and said on behalf of Microsoft, that was together. So what we did is we created a super system, really. That was really what, which was, necessary to manage all this, right? And so we created a super system, which really is the brainchild behind, Project LeadGen. And it used to be Road to Champs in the very beginning, and now, we changed the name to Project LeadGen. And what that is, it's really a sales plan. It's 5 parts, and it creates leads. So it's a sales plan. So it's a comprehensive sales and marketing program for partners out there that are like, I'm really great at IT, but I really need some help with the sales part of it. Okay, I need some help with understanding how to use emotional marketing value words to get more contracts, to get more leads. It's a sales marketing program that's going to get you out of going to worthless networking events that really don't bring you anything, spin your wheels, and it just produce zero type of results. Lastly, it's a sales and marketing program that will reduce overall costs because the amount of money I spent in 1 year doing those 300 events was about $1,600 in total marketing expenses. So look at the ROI on that, right? As opposed to spending $1,600 a month on Google AdWords or Yelp advertising or radio or TV or whatnot. Unbelievable return on that. So the 5 parts are really simple. So what we did is we have it on Ready to Go marketing, and we broke it up into 5 separate training modules that is just like building a house. We want to show you how to build your foundation first. We want to lay down the foundation, show you, how to find associations you want to go to, how to look into these different ideas. And then after you watch, the first module has 5 videos in it, and each video is 2 minutes long because we know that you need super small, bite-sized information. And then we also put into it downloadable. Yes, we have a good question, and we're going to get right into that. But it's downloadable, so it's very simple. So you go to Project LeadGen, PLG on Ready to Go Marketing, and you watch the first 5 videos. Then you watch the second 5 videos. Total amount of time for the videos is 47 minutes for all 5 learning modules. Very simple. Then we put in some action items for each video so that you can set up your business, and you build, and then you graduate. And then we also have if you finish and graduate through the program, we will assist with you calling these associations. We'll actually assist by providing an over-the-top email to endorse you, as well as calling those associations on your behalf to set you up on the road to success. Lastly, Project LeadGen really is leads. If you want to get yourself from 5 to 5 deals a month to 20 deals a month, this is the way to go. Because basically, we're having somebody else do your demand gen for you. All you do is present. You get the leads. You put it into a systematic approach, and wham! Now you're starting to get calls in for actual details. So what I'd like to do, and the question was any success stories. We have a lot of success stories, and I think this is really good. The first one's going to be about security. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mark Essien from KME, and I'll have him introduce himself and kind of go over some of his ideas. Mark?
Good morning, Sherman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone. And my name is Mark Essien. I'm president of KME Systems. We're a managed service provider in Southern California. We've used MCC and Project LeadGen primarily, Sherman, as you know, as we were certainly sold on getting out in front of thought leaders, decision makers, etc. It gave us time to demonstrate we're a subject matter expert. We weren't explicitly selling, but people understood that we were giving them some pretty good information about what we knew about. So we've captured many prospects, and we have closed opportunities from small to large. Our largest engagement so far is well into six figures around cybersecurity, and that's from a professional services viewpoint. And then we got that call because the client remembered us when they needed service, and they called our team simply because they said, we had heard a couple of your messages, we'd seen some things, we watched a video. And for me, the best part was learning from their CIO, we never would have been invited to bid because we just weren't on their radar at all. But because we got on their radar, because we were following these processes and following everything that helped us get in front of him, they knew something about us, they had heard about us, we got the invitation, and after some time, we won the business. So we've got some good technology that we work with. I'm sure everybody on the call does as well. But if you're not in front of the client and you're not demonstrating that you know what you're talking about and you have the ability to serve them, you're just not going to get that call. So a big thing for us in regards to how successful we've been with LeadGen is, for us, process is king. So LeadGen has been great by assisting us with some best practices around simple things like making sure your script is good, following up with your attendees, reinforcing, getting your messages out, etc. And we can refine and use our content for different verticals as well. So what Sherman's program has really done for us is put some great best practices for us to use and not reinvent the wheel. So we know our content. And Project LeadGen really puts a good process around the delivery, follow-up, and results for us. And I've been really thankful that we sat down and took the time to learn how to do it. For some of you, you may know a lot of it, and others may say, gee, I know a little bit of this. But again, if you follow a process and you're clear about it and you're what you, like Sherman said, you sell what you know you can do and you're a subject matter expert, it's awesome. And for us, why we feel it's a very strong sales strategy is being consistently out in front of business leaders in the local community is just a big deal for us. We are going to be viewed as an expert and not just a cold caller. I'm sure we all do some campaigns where we call or we send an email, but if you've been heard of and people understand you know what you're doing and what you're talking about, it's really helped our sales process, and it has closed deals, and we have made money. I don't know how else to put it simply. This process works.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate that. That kind of ties into, the question that was actually posed, any success stories using this approach from a vertical industry like healthcare associations. I would tell you that I think that this program is specifically tied to vertical marketing. I would say that, chambers of commerce are good, but it's more of a shotgun approach and it's more micro businesses. Where the money really is in the associations and doing vertical marketing with targeted IP. If you're creating some sort of IP, around healthcare or attorneys or manufacturing or something around that, this is the absolute best way to approach, because you can go ahead and, engage with, the Physicians Association, the, Family Practice Association, there's so much in healthcare by itself, so many different types of associations that tie into healthcare. If you get tied into those associations and you become the subject matter expert within all of those companies, just like Mark was saying, wham, you're going to be getting calls from people in there, as well as you're going to be marketing to them through our email drip marketing system that we provide for you. We also provide all of the content for you. We provide the PowerPoints. We provide the invitations. We provide everything that encompasses anything that you need to do to get you started doing presentations. So, moving into it is, kind of how do I describe it to my peers and business organizations? And I kind of went over it a little bit, beforehand. But, we basically, have the mantra, the partner has the mantra of saying, okay, we're going to provide an educational benefit to an organization, and we're going to provide these four things. And one is tech tips. Second is a series of 12 live educational seminars and webinars, which we teach you how to do via our program, how to do a seminar and how to do a webinar. We also provide on-demand webinars using OfficeMix. We'll teach you how to actually upload all of your content to OfficeMix and then have that as recurring on-demand marketing inside an association, a vertical, every single day in perpetuity for the cost of nothing. And what's amazing about that is that the association wants you to do it. They're happy to get it, and they're not asking you for money because Microsoft is behind you. And we're saying, hey, we have an educational sponsorship that we're providing you. This is what we need you to do. And then lastly, we tell the association, we're going to provide software donations to support your monthly events. So you're aiming to become the subject matter expert for all members of the business association, and that is what really is a key, and that's how you describe it. That is the mantra. That is the thing, the elevator pitch that you, as a partner, you know, you understand, you live it, you breathe it. You can talk to any association. And the calls that I get on from my partners that I'm assisting with them, 9 out of 10 of the organizations that we actually get on the phone say yes. And they want to do it right away, and we get people into it. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about is seminar selling, because I want to kind of give you an idea of what it really is, and why you should kind of change the way you're doing traditional techniques. So I'm going to go ahead and present my desktop here. We're not going to have the technical issue that we had earlier, and we'll go ahead and get that one.
And Sherman, this time it's going to take a couple seconds to get your desktop up, so give it a couple seconds.
Sure.
And
Okay.
Loading, still loading. And
Okay.
now.
All right, so let's go ahead and play that.
Selling to many instead of selling to one. Are you sick and tired of making phone calls to set appointments? Are you looking to develop a stronger ROI on your marketing efforts? Are networking events really working? Are you confused as to how to bring in business? Let's use 40 attendees as the benchmark for each one of your seminars. Let's compare that to telemarketing. So how many telemarketing calls would it take you to get 40 appointments? 100 cold calls per day, 2 appointments per day, would equal 500 calls and 10 appointments in 1 week. So it would take 2,000 phone calls to get 40 appointments. Out of those 40, how many would really want to hear you talk? And do they view you as a subject matter expert? I would say about 10. So out of the 40 appointments, 40% get to the second stage. Out of the 12 who get to the second stage, 30% of those would close. So 3.6 deals a month, and you're burning yourself out. Now imagine seminar selling. Let's look at the average partner doing 4 seminars per month using Microsoft Community Connections and the following techniques. You don't have to drive attendees. All you have to focus on is the content we provide and the follow-up with the attendees. So assuming each seminar nets 40 attendees, that means you are speaking to 160 business owners per month. And because you are delivering the content in those events, they will likely view you as a subject matter expert.
All right. So hopefully that's a good way of looking at things. Let me go ahead back to managing our content here. That's seminar selling. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and Debbie, can you let me know when we're up to, we're back on our PowerPoint.
Yep, I brought it up for you, so you will need to click on Take Over as Presenter as soon as it finishes loading. There you go. Now you can click on it.
Okay, take over presenter. Perfect. All right. Great. Now, I want to get into another testimonial here. And this is Akilah Kamara from Bluefields Digital. She's a Born in the Cloud partner that just signed on in January, and her success using this program is unbelievable. Akilah, can you possibly introduce yourself and tell us how you feel about Project LeadGen?
Thank you, Sherman. Thank you for the opportunity. As Sherman said, I'm Akilah Kamara, and I'm a new partner. I officially became a partner on February 4th, so I'm still very new. But the opportunity that I saw with Project LeadGen was that it allowed me to leverage my strengths. And my strength is I can comfortably teach, and I'm comfortably able to speak publicly, and so that required not much, but just learning the videos and learning the system and learning about Microsoft products, and then reaching out to associations. And I focused my time on manufacturing organizations specifically and women business associations. And that, for me, was a wonderful positioning because it allowed me to be an expert and an authority rather than just a commodity coming in with, this specific thing that I needed to sell today. And it led, the associations to view me very differently and ask questions, or I'll send an email about something that their members are having challenges with. And one of the things that it really does, it helps you to utilize your time much more effectively. So Sherman mentioned, the many-to-one sales strategy. Mass selling is absolutely the way to go. Trying to cold call or, that's just way too much time. But the ability to get in front of a group of people and teach something or speak on something, it changes the dynamics altogether. My focus on manufacturing, I looked at the fact that people were bringing their own devices to work and really focused on the EMS product and how that would help manufacturers manage the security of their data, and created a program for the associations to actually sell this package to their members and give incentives to the association for doing that. So it allows them to promote my offer as a benefit. And, I created Tech Tuesday in-store events for the association and utilized the CIE as an exclusive benefit for only certain members, that, it's something that, is valued and that their members, would want to attend because it's an exclusive offer. So there's just a way of packaging and presenting things that makes it much more attractive to people rather than just it's something that I'm selling. For me, the benefit really of Project LeadGen has allowed me to go from a cold start, not knowing anything about, selling technology. Certainly, I've been in IT, but certainly as software sales is very different. And so utilizing the videos and the marketing materials and the presentations really was how I was able to kind of just leapfrog much quicker within the past 90 days. I don't really see why someone would not utilize this strategy, because it connects you to multiple businesses at one time. You can test offers, you can test different things within this incubator for an association that you're working with and see, well, you know what, I came up with this offer, I positioned it to this association, did it work, did it not work, and really refine in an environment where people are open to you and appreciate you. And so I'm very grateful that the Project LeadGen exists and that I was able to utilize it, because it has really done some amazing things for my business in ways that are really indescribable. Thank you, Sherman.
Thank you, Akilah. And to the group here, I would have to say that Akilah is one of our bright shining stars. Every one of the testimonial partners here are bright and shining, but she's the newest, and the success that she has gotten in such a short time really is astonishing. One point that you want to kind of just mention with what Akilah is talking about is she said that she's the people she works with are happy to work with her. That's so different from being the piece of meat, per se, that you have to join a chamber, and then the first thing the membership director says, well, before we can even talk to you, give me some money, right? And they really don't care about really working with you directly. They're just looking for your money. Now, if you flip the script and use these selling techniques, you end up talking to the president and CIO. You leapfrog over that, and then their whole team wants to work with you. and the relationships you garner through this, within that community. And it may not be overnight success, but it's something that now, it's free, and you keep going into it. All right, so the next thing is what's called the Project LeadGen Planner. And what this is just a document that we ask everyone to fill out. And this pretty much just kind of, it's self-marking, and we review this with you. But we ask you your first name, last name, email, phone, MPN ID, and then we have a deadline that we'd like you to follow. And this is just a snapshot of it. It goes down, and it basically has LeadGen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it basically says, okay, watch all the videos. I did that, put 100%, and you follow it all the way down. And we have a very systematic, very organized approach to ensuring that you are successful. Not only do we ask you to fill this out, but the one most important thing and most valuable thing is our next tab that is on the Project LeadGen Planner. And this is where you're actually going to go ahead and list all of the associations that you're going after. So you're going to put the company name, the first name, last name, their phone number, the email, zip code. There's other fields on here, the notes, and when their next date is. Okay? When you do that, and after you send out your initial emails, right, we follow up with all of those companies, and we send out a follow-up email to them saying, Akilah thank you, Akilah, for reaching out on our behalf. Akilah is an important member of Microsoft Community Connections. We want to schedule a call with you to talk to you about our program. So we actually help significantly with your business in getting you started. It is the first and only prescriptive Microsoft program that actually assigns a tele-BDM, a tele-business development manager, to our partners to help you get through this and help you market and help you sell, your services. Will you be selling just Office 365 and Microsoft? No. You're going to basically be selling a lot of other things, and we want you to be successful. You'll ultimately sell some products that we have, but I think you're going to end up getting into a lot of different things. Next one is Eric Klaus. I want to go ahead and introduce you to Eric from Tridea. He's probably the longest member up here. He's a vice president for IAMCP, as well as the MCC chair for the Western U.S. And Eric, hey, can you kind of talk a little bit about who you are and the value of the program?
Wow, Sherman, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, my name, everyone, is Eric Klaus with Tridea Partners. We're a Microsoft Dynamics ERP and CRM solutions partner with locations in Southern California, Northern California, and Boston. As Sherman mentioned, I have the honor of probably holding the longest tenure as part of the program. I'm about 7 years as part of IAMCP SoCal, and I have been part of the Project LeadGen Microsoft Community Connections team for about 2.5 years now, starting originally with Microsoft's Justin Slagle and then continuing on for about the last 1.5 years with Sherman. I lead the efforts as part of the MCC team for IAMCP SoCal. As Sherman mentioned, IAMCP is the International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners. We are the largest chapter here in Southern California for the entire U.S., but there are 36 chapters across the country. So depending upon where you're located, there's probably a chapter somewhere near you already. We work closely here as part of the IAMCP with Sherman and the Community Connections team, and we've built out and really grown our team here to expand our reach and engage with many more partners. I've used MCC to generate business and opportunities, and that's obviously a major focus of getting started in the program. But equally important to me is we've built our brand awareness here in Southern California and really grown that via the MCC and Project LeadGen efforts. We've also grown and created many partnerships with other partners through IAMCP and Project LeadGen, which has resulted in more opportunities via those partnerships as well. I think, one of the major benefits for Project LeadGen for you is obviously we want to look at how you can grow your business. But as I said, I think a major area of that is to create new partnerships. Look, the Microsoft ecosystem is a huge, huge place out there. And there are Microsoft Dynamics partners like myself. There are business intelligence partners that are out there. There are Microsoft SharePoint partners who do nothing but SharePoint. There's a massive, massive ecosystem out there. There are custom applications development partners, all kinds of different partners that are out there. And so through this effort, you can really grow and expand the number and types of relationships that you have, create more opportunities for yourself by working with other partners, and really grow your business using both the MCC efforts and that partnering activity. I think that's a huge benefit and a huge overlooked area of Project LeadGen. For example, I'm working here with SCORE Orange County. I've become a SCORE mentor now for going on 2 years. So that's a major focus for me, and that's a great opportunity to get out in front of small businesses here in Southern California. I have also engaged with a life sciences vertical association and healthcare vertical association. Somebody asked a question earlier about healthcare. For us at Tridea Partners, life sciences and healthcare, food and beverage, we have a few vertical industries that we go after. And so focusing on associations that target those areas is and continues to be a major effort of ours as we engage through Project LeadGen. Also, I've worked with several of the local chambers of commerce and many, as I mentioned before, many partners through all of those relationships. And that's where I'm finding tremendous amounts of business and also, quite frankly, creating a lot of personal and professional relationships. So it's been great both from a personal standpoint as well as from a professional and business standpoint.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate that. Eric really has been, a real helper, and as the MCC chair, a lot of our partners interact with Eric and, can ask him questions and whatnot. But we've also found one very interesting product, I guess, that came out of this was that a lot of our partners, just like Eric was saying, are Power BI or SharePoint, and they say, well, I can't provide this. I can't do all 12 because I'm not a specialist in SEO. I'm not a specialist in marketing or security, but I know MSP practices, right? And that's good. That's okay because we have an ecosystem of partners that you can partner with. And using that scenario, that's where a lot of deals, not just coming from these associations, but now you're having deals coming from partners that you're partnering with, right? That you're helping them build their business, but then they're actually helping you. And then it becomes a whole bunch of different ways of building your business, all of which don't cost any money. The next person I do want to talk about real quick, and I apologize I don't have his picture up, but we're really delighted to have him on, is Eddie Bader. Eddie, could you just possibly talk a little bit about yourself and the success that you've received from MCC really in Project LeadGen?
Sure thing, and thanks for having me, Sherman. I appreciate that. What I'd like to talk to you guys about is a little bit different. The opportunity that I see with Project LeadGen is an opportunity to brand yourself. When you get in front of people and you actually get to communicate and you're sharing knowledge and you're helping them out, essentially, what you're doing is you're building a relationship. That relationship is more effective and stronger than any piece of advertising or marketing that you can do, like via email, via postcards, or any traditional type of marketing like that. And I hate to say this in front of a lot of people, but I'm terrible at selling, but I'm pretty good at building relationships. And those relationships actually help keep you top of mind. So when Sherman referred to, 3% of people might be interested in buying right now, but there's a larger percent that are going to buy down the road, it's really important that you stay top of mind so that when they're ready, they actually think of you first. And through this program, you get to build those relationships so that you do stay top of mind. so that they do think of you when they need those types of services, and you become that thought leader and that go-to resource for them whenever they have a question related to technology or hopefully to business in general. And I think that's one of the huge things about this program, and one of the benefits for the partner is that you get to insert yourself with having Microsoft behind you, backing you, and saying, yeah, this is the guy to listen to. It's very, very helpful, and it positions you in a way that's almost impossible to do by yourself. Secondarily, to the point that some of the other partners made, is that I find a huge value in working with other partners to distribute this information. So I never do any presentations or workshops by myself. It's at least with one other partner, sometimes with up to 3 or 4 partners. And that's awesome because we all bring different perspectives and different specialties. And it really helps the audience because they get more from these presentations. And we get, as partners, we build this relationship. And I end up not only having a good working relationship with these people, but to Eric's point, I've made some great friends. And I think there's a tendency to want to work with your friends and want to do business with your friends. So even though you're presenting and you have a purpose, you are trying to brand, you are trying to market, and ultimately you're trying to get business. But underneath that all, you're building a solid foundation in this ecosystem with other partners that leads to more opportunities because you're more comfortable with one another, especially when you start doing these presentations together. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits to me of this whole program is that I don't need to be an expert in everything. I just say, oh, you know what, I'm going to call Eric for this, or Akilah would be perfect for this, or Mark. And I've worked with all 3 of them, plus many more partners. And it's an effective way to create camaraderie in the group and to actually give more value to the associations that you're approaching. So from that perspective, it's been invaluable to me. These relationships are just fantastic. I can't say enough about the people that I've been involved with and how they've helped me and how I try to help them. So it's very much it's very much a giving environment. And as far as Project LeadGen itself, one of the other big things is that Sherman has done all the work. He talked about how he went from 3 to 300 engagements. He's actually taken the time to document all of his processes. It's very systematic. And if you actually take the time to go through the steps, you'll find that he's done the majority of work for you. You just have to follow the steps. Inevitably, you might tweak something here and there and make it your own, but he's done a lot of the heavy lifting. And it's just a fantastic opportunity to kickstart somebody, especially if you're like me, who may not be fantastic at selling. It's a great way to engage immediately, as Akilah had mentioned before. So, I can't say enough about the program, and I'm going to say this for me, but I'm sure the other partners on the call would tell you the same. If you have any questions, or if you want to get started, want to ask, more in-depth questions, or need help at any time, feel free to reach out to us because we'd love to help. This is a community, and it's very much of a giving ecosystem. So whatever we can do to help, we'd be more than happy.
Thank you, Eddie. Really appreciate it. A couple quick questions came up there. Is Project LeadGen available in Canada? Not officially, but you can use Project LeadGen. MCC isn't. However, we can extend the benefits to a partner if they are looking to do this, because we're just here to help. You can get get a hold of Eddie. They're going to post his website, companybuild.com. If you need to get a hold of him, all 4 partners here are fantastic to work with, and would be happy to answer your questions. And lastly, Microsoft. One of the things that we talk about is actually partnering with your Microsoft stores. They have business sales specialists there, and they want to put on events there. So maybe you tell the association or you tell the chamber, hey, we're going to do one of the events at that. That's good. So let's just go real quick because we're coming to the end of the hour. How do you sign up for Project LeadGen? So where do I go to sign up? Pretty simple. Everything's on Ready to Go, which we love it. So it's very simple, aka.ms, ready to go /PLG. You go there, you download all five. Each section has a downloadable resources, so we give you content to download, like the PowerPoints and the some of the emails to send out in 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4. We have different sections, that you can download. You get everything there. You can also download the project plan at aka.ms/PLG planner, and we'll go ahead and have that posted for everyone that attended this call for them to actually do that. So, I want to thank everyone on the call.
Reinforcement. 7 quick questions.
Before you go ahead and finish, is that we have a short survey, and it's a chance to win $15,000. We really need your input here. Okay, we want to figure out what we can do to create better presentations for you, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is get your feedback, and there is a chance to win $15,000, not $15 million, but $15,000 that we're going to go ahead and award. So the presenters, to the people who attended, thank you very much. Mark, thank you. Akilah, thank you. Eric and Eddie, thank you very much. Debbie and Nicole and Megan, thank you very much, and thank you for the attendees. We really do appreciate it, and we're really looking forward to help you. If you want to contact me, we have, I use social marketing and social media to its nth degree. You can go ahead and put Sherman Crancer at Microsoft. My Twitter, my LinkedIn is there. I have a group. It's called the Microsoft Business Channel Development Network. Go ahead and click on that link, or go to my YouTube site and go ahead and request there. And lastly, I'm just going to go right back to that survey link for you. So for everybody, you want to type it in really quick. We really appreciate it. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and your effort. And Debbie, thank you. And back to you, Deb.
Awesome. Thanks, Sherman. So again, folks, please take a moment to fill that survey out. Again, it's a chance to win $15,000. And with that, that does conclude today's Partner Infopedia web conference. Again, partners, you'll be able to get to the web conference replay on this same registration site within 24 hours. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter, Sherman, and all of our guest speakers today. And thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us.